Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan terrorist. How have you been, Collective? I've been kind of laying low. But I did a vocal fast, so a day of silence, which for those of you who have followed me for a long time, you probably know. I'm a big advocate of days of silence. Vocal fasting has been life-saving for me. And it really was kind of the big major start to my shadow working process. So maybe something with the throat chakra. Someone could be a little bit slowing down what they have to say. So yeah, there could be something with that, but you could just be taking time for yourself. That might offend some people, but if someone's offended by you taking your own time, those are not your people. Interesting. So we have this kind of represents the devil over here with the moon, with the strings, because the devil looks just like the lovers, but they're chained, and it's a demon up here. So it's all about attachments and lower vibrational indulgences. That's the word I'm getting. But that also reminds me of the show Evil, which I really like that show. For a while, I haven't watched any of the new stuff. I don't know if there's new ones, but I think I watched the first 2 seasons. I really liked the first season. I usually like the first season. The first season of the year is well, technically it's probably winter. Yeah, she was wanting to come out. Okay. There could be a earth sign or fixed sign feminine at play here that the masculine is looking at. They only want this feminine, but this masculine is getting a lot of offers. So it could be some sort of celibacy, because in the show Evil, he is a priest, or he's a priest in training, but he had kind of a past with the Page of Wands here of secular behaviors, right? Knight of Cups, and he realized that was actually not fulfilling to his heart space. The moon. Somebody just wants to know. The feminine's representing with the moon and the Hierophant, but see, her knees are locked. The feminine's knees are locked. They're praying. Somebody's really challenged in their faith right now, challenged in not being able to see what's going on, not having all the information. Somebody's feeling left out of the loop. The loop, you could be like a circle of friends. Could be about like a secret attraction, but we have so Ace of Pentacles and the Moon. Somebody is biting their tongue or so slow to speak that it's actually sabotaging this connection, because this person here with the Seven of Swords is someone who's kind of self-deceptive, holding a grudge. Why is there a grudge? Ah, the grudge. Somebody could be kind of infiltrated by very challenging thoughts as well. Because they're not speaking, because they're not expressing, it's all just staying in here. All of that air energy is just staying in here. And what happens when you have too much air in the highest space, right? And I'm getting that heat rises, so it's like a lot of passion that's not being spoken about. So it's all just up here, and it's causing stirring thoughts. And there's this attachment here. Something with the attachments on the feminine side. There could be a pregnancy involved, a child involved. Could be, I was just talking about the memorial. There's, the memorial for babies. Maybe this is something a tough conversation about. Maybe there could have been like a loss, an abortion, some sort of issues with reproduction or something, because it seems like it's tethered to this, and you're unable to move forward because you're still attached to the past. These 3 wands here remind me of the 3 of Swords. But I was just watching the movie The Bachelorette, or Bachelorettes. It has Kirsten Dunst, Isla Fisher. I love her, she's so funny. And I don't know what she is. I believe Sacha Baron Cohen, I think they're still together. I believe he's a Libra. Something about Libra and Capricorn, possibly. Ace of Pentacles is, yeah, somebody realized that the value is maybe meeting this feminine, because this feminine is the queen of, could be a fire sign as well involved here, but the this is like Lady in Red is dancing with me. And underneath this Queen of Pentacles is the moon. So it's like the dancers, but it's like this toxic, there's some sort of toxic unseen element, which we'll get to, but it's maybe the feminine doesn't feel worthy of this like pedestal that they've been placed on by the masculine, because they're holding on to, they see them, the masculine sees the feminine as being very sure of themselves, very confident. And here it's like this feminine, even though she's pictured as a dragon here, she's still like clutching onto her pentacle, which gives me like a 4 of Pentacles here, and the masculine's in this 4 of Cups. So it's like the feminine, in order to feel comfortable enough to give their cup away, to share their cup, they need security. But the masculine sees the feminine as being so secure that they're withholding their cup with this 4 of Cups. It's a weird message. It's all weird. Love is weird, right? Strength just came out of this deck. Leo energy. Holding on so tightly. 2 of Wands would bring somebody out of this 3 of Wands, and that was trying to come out with the Strength card there. Somebody's trying to feel the strength. Why does this person feel weak? King of Pentacles? Oh. Now, the King and Queen of Pentacles are a pair. Now, there could have been a third party here. This feminine could have been with someone else, or the masculine might worry that the feminine, this Queen of Pentacles that they're viewing them in, wants a King of Pentacles. So this could be a question of finances, physical appearance, health, wealth as Pentacles, or maybe that they don't know if they have what it takes to be stable enough for this feminine. And that feels a King of Wands. Yeah, this masculine is presenting with all these wands. Like they're speaking different languages. Some of this Queen of Pentacles with the moon. 3 of Wands. But see, this 3 of Wands is, the plan is clear. Here, the plan is not clear in this 3 of Wands on the feminine side. I feel like y'all just need to have a talk. Wheel of Fortune. The question is, will this masculine, will this Page of Wands be enough for this feminine Pentacle Dragon, the 2 of Wands? There's that choice. That is the question. The Fool and the King of Pentacles. Well, when you are a divine masculine, divine feminine, you're an emperor and an empress, right? So you have all the cards in your hand. So why is this masculine so in question about that? Why, masculine? Why? Why are you so in question about that? 3, their words, there's a grudge. And it looks like a 6, but it's in a 9. It's in reverse. Everything is in reverse. Everything is Topsy-turvy. That's the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Topsy-turvy. Everybody's topsy-turvy. Dun, dun. Everybody's topsy-turvy. The lanterns, the Pope hat. Pastries with the cherry. And 3 flowers. Pink flowers. Maybe this masculine is dealing with 3 different feminines. They're choosing. Because here we have Moana. We have Brave, but it's the mother. So their mother could be at play here. The masculine's mother could be at play. That could be part of the stop. I want to say stop sign. Something about a stop sign or a crossroads. 4-way stop. You know, it's like at a 4-way stop. That's all about communication and trust that the other person knows the rules. I mean, driving in general is all about that. But at a 4-way stop, it's like, were you here first? Were you here first? Were you here first? But we've got this kind of very young, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed feminine here. And then we've got this kind of, I'm getting like a Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, and a Queen of Pentacles. Now that could be the feminine also presenting as a pre-empress, which means that she is missing. We got Wands, Cups, and Pentacles. That means, again, communication is not here. Show me the beast, Bell. 13. It was 11-13, so 13 is death. It is scorpionic energy there. 12 was just, it was on the dot 12 minutes on the clock when I just said that. So something about 12, it's like going from 12 to 13, something else needs to come to an end. 12s are 3s. 3s are very important here. So I'm getting this message about the 12 months in the year. Maybe that's how long you've known this person or that you've been waiting for this person. Something about the 12 months, the 12 zodiac signs. Now you go through the 12 zodiac signs as major arcana on your process of shadow work. So somebody could be increasing their value, waiting for their stocks to rise kind of thing. Let's get some letters. And I found this T-E, somebody could be giggling with the O-V and L-T. Lieutenant O-M, E-M. Maybe the name Emily. Everett, R-E. R-P. R-P-M. Someone could be traveling over to see you with that 3 of Wands. That is moving. That is making a move. Also, maybe somebody lost a spouse. There could be a deceased spouse, or could be a divorce or something, you know, the loss of idea anyway. P-I. Somebody is like a PI agent, all right, which you guys know that's Leo in my book. They are the investigative ones. They will get that information, which I think is why Leos and Virgos get along so well typically. Because Virgo's like, I need to know why, and Leo's like, I'm gonna find out why. And I'll report back to you. Yeah, 2 of Wands again. Or that's the hatchets, 2 of Swords. Communication here, but somebody is gathering information. That is that Page of Swords. But PI, somebody could have access to ways of getting background checks or getting this information that is of a higher security clearance. Somebody could be misappropriating resources here to get information on this connection. I mean, they could just be asking around. But I do feel like there is a distance here, so it's like they're maybe creating fake accounts. Five of Cups. Why does this feel like some sort of past marriage or something? Could be closure coming in. Maybe this might resonate as being like a closing of a cycle to welcome in new love. Smoke signals. 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands and the 4 of Wands. 8 of Wands is traveling, movement. It's going against the grain. It's going... probably the path of most resistance to society, but the path of least resistance to the individual's spirit. The sled. Somebody could be traveling through snow or leaving something in snow. 7, 8, 5, 4, and 9. Well, we have the 9 of Cups here, so it is somebody coming out of the 5 of Cups, which is being left out, crying over spilled milk, being left out in the cold, really intense disappointment that actually was the thing that bent you, but it didn't break you. But it was like when you bend plastic, the white in the plastic, it's gonna snap. It's right there. So there could be some sort of, this feels like somebody who went through a lot of physical ailments because they were in maybe a marriage that was very toxic and unhealthy, because this is a feminine who has freed themselves from that. Free the nip. It could be kind of nipply where you are, kind of cold. And you could be into that as far as through your spiritual practices, because I am getting someone who is quite versed in their own process of shadow working. It's almost like procedural. People probably think that you're a little bit nuts maybe for the way that you do things. Like this seems like an extremist, right? And this is also something that people do in a protest. I'm protesting against heartbreak. This could be a feminine who protested against love. It doesn't exist. It's all a sham. Last time I got involved with that thing called love, it nearly broke me. But with the wish card here, the wish fulfillment, the 9 of Cups, what are they doing? Are they sprinkling? They're sprinkling something into the hair of this person here that's sitting there. It's like a cleansing ceremony. You could be into getting into Reiki, getting into different forms of healing. You could practice that. And if that's the case, if you are a healer, if you're a massage therapist, a doctor, yoga, anything where you put your hands on people, you do their hair. I mean, this could be someone who does hair, because it's like I see them like mixing the bleach, mixing the highlights, mixing the color, because everyone around them has dark hair, and this person's hair looks golden because of this ceremony. So you could be changing your appearance or something like that. That also kind of gives me like a fugitive. Someone who kind of like, maybe you had to run or escape from some of these past connections, or maybe you try to run from your past or escape from your past through other means that were just lower vibrational, because this looks like restraint, right? It's a restraint, and that's where sobriety comes in, celibacy comes in. So there's this sort of cleansing ceremony, and maybe that's what your shadow work was for you, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's a transmutation process. It's a healing process of the self-love. My left ear is ringing so loudly right now. Somebody might have that. It kind of sounds like the TV's on, like it's muted, but there's still that when the power is on. But it's also like static. The Hermit. Yeah, it's because somebody's not talking. Somebody's deep in their hermit mode, which is the beginning of shadow work. So it's kind of like the Sun, because getting that Leo and Virgo dynamic, you could have those placements, but as far as shadow work goes, it's like the sun is the ultimate happiest card in the deck. It's the rebirth, and the Hermit is going into that shadow. So this is somebody who's made it through the shadows, who's purged all of that through their own shadow working process, through their own. With the Eight of Wands, somebody does things in a very non-traditional, unique way. Because with the Hierophant here, this person, where did that go? Oh, maybe I put it back in there. But with the Hierophant, the knees locked and everything, it's like when you did things in a traditional way, it feels like this feminine was sabotaged. They felt kind of sabotaged by whatever their belief system was. Somebody might call you like Sweetie Pie. I'm seeing M and the Pie. Also the Secret Life of Pi, or not Secret, that's Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Just Life of Pi. Something with tigers. Oh gosh, what's his name? The tiger's name. Oh my gosh, I know this. I've used it so many times. Because I'll just shout it out at random times, almost like in Castaway where he says, Wilson, you know. Is his name Richard? Things got swapped. Something got swapped. The names got swapped? Well, yeah, that happens in a marriage. Maybe somebody took on a name, and maybe you don't want to do that. You don't want to take on somebody else's name. But I'm getting somebody like call you Emmy Pie or something, like your name and then like pie, or like Cutie Pie. Maybe you just like pie with those pastries with the cherry on top. See, there's the Devil and the Fool. That Fool, it doesn't want to come out. Your name's Tegan or Sarah, TS. What is that? TSA. So security clearance. There's that security clearance. I'm getting like somebody, this is very specific, but like in a movie where somebody, a feminine comes through checkout and they leave something behind, and the TSA agent sees it. It reminds them of somebody else. Like it reminds them of, it's a future memory. They see this thing, I'm seeing like a brooch or a pin, could be a pen, because I just saw that in Hector in the Search for Happiness. Happiness. Everybody wants happiness, and it's funny. Just watch it. He's talking to a French woman, and she's like, I want the happiness, and he's like, I want the penis in my bottom, and he's like, I want happiness from the bottom of my heart, you know. But anyway, but yeah, traveling and Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's like people going on this adventure, people going on this soul-searching adventure, and we always go away from ourselves to find ourselves, but we always are right there, and we didn't have to do all that. But a lot of times it's like we need to get out of our own way. We need to get out of our own space. We need to get out. Maybe somebody just needs to get out with that hermit mode. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. Somebody has always wanted to have enough to share with others. And see, they were putting this like corn, I almost said, I was trying to say corn, on this, in the ceremony, with this wish fulfillment. It's like this corn. I don't know if that's what they're putting on them, but it looks like they're sprinkling corn, little sprinkle dinkle, bam. Somebody could be wanting to, you know, maybe they're feeding the needy or feeding other people, or they've just always wanted to like open a restaurant, but they just didn't have the pentacles for it because they didn't believe in themselves, and they really didn't access the inner power to manifest yet. But they're getting that. This feels like a career reading almost, but with the 6 here, that is a number of love, so it is a labor of love. But see, they're dropping coins in their hand, but it's also corn and coin. Also the color gold, and that goes back to Pocahontas. You know, they think that the gold, liquid gold, or gold, piles and piles of it. The Tower. This destruction here. This destruction. from everything already? Jeez, that's pretty quick. That was quick. Why is somebody saying that? Well, we've got this corn and harvest stuff, so I'm going to pull from the 3 seeds. We 3 kings of Orient. Yeah, it's like you're both coming into this as pre-emperor and pre-empress, because I'm getting 3 kings and 3 queens, but there's 1 king missing. That's also Grace Potter and the Nocturnals. It's a great album, but it's 1 heart missing. Somebody feels like they're 1 heart missing. 1 heart missing. Oh, missing. Thought if I sang that a little bit that it would, like, the next verse would come to me and I could get some lyrics for you, but just check out the song if you want. There could be some lyrics in there. Signs and synchronicities. So labor, there's that again on the 6 of Pentacles. Labor of love. And purple is royalty. It's royalty. You and this person are royalty. This love is royalty because it's divine. I was getting a lot of sexual energy there, and it's like, you know, in the beginning, but it's like this is so much deeper than that. And I think that there was a lot of the passion, right? Because a labor of love, it's your passion project, is linked to your person. I mean, the twin flame connection is so that you can come together, and your life force that you create wow, that was weird. Something with a bicycle. I just saw the wheels go by. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Somebody could be a school teacher or want to work with children. But yeah, whatever your calling is, whatever you've always felt like that's the thing I need to do, that you maybe never felt like you had enough for, or you were like, who am I to help people with recovery? I can't even get a hold of my own, you know, patterns or habits or addictions or whatever. It's like, I'm so challenged with them. It's like, that's the point. And if you had reproductive challenges, right, with the child, it's like you might be like, who am I to teach other people's kids? I don't even have any kids, right? Or who am I to help other people, you know? Or you could be single and you want to be like a marriage counselor or something, couples counselor. Whatever you're doing, it's like somebody stepping up to the plate of their own dream, their own desire. It's not even, it's beyond desire. I mean, yes, you desire it, but, right, like you might be helping people heal their sacral chakra, when for a long time, it's like you were probably just, they could have been very promiscuous, or, you know, you just didn't, and you might, there may have been some questions as to be like, well, who am I to think I'm worthy of this dream? And I think it's obviously bled into your love life. Wild seed. Yeah, you kind of were like a wild child, maybe. Play this card as a seed of any type. Most children of chaos are, right? And then we're like, oh, we're the problem. It's like, no, you just weren't given the tools. And then we find the tools and we're like, oh, the tools were right here all along. I'm not this person necessarily. I'm not right for the job. I'm not right for this person necessarily because of my past. My past was meant to lead me to this person, to this passion, to this project. It's all, I don't know why I'm like panting. Tough tomatoes. Strength as tough as nails. Yeah, what did not break you, it bent you, but it didn't break you, and it fortified you, because when you apply pressure to, because I'm seeing white plastic, you know, like where it's bending, that's also sex on fire. The knuckles are, the breaking of day, ahead while I'm driving, the knuckles are white. They're white knuckling it. I can't think of the lyric that they use in that song, which is crazy. Again, Kings of Leon. There's that Leo energy again, that strength. Somebody is like, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. That's Piscean energy with the wolf and then the 3 pigs. But there's the 3 pigs, 3P, P-I. P-I. Somebody's done watching. They're done watching. They're done waiting. They're ready to take action. They started to, through their shadow work, they realized who the hell they are. Who TF they are. TFTR. That's specific, but it's they're remembering who they are. And it's not remembering who they are like from childhood, right? Because if they go back through this life, and the Empress, and that 4 of Cups, and the Star, Aquarius energy, 2 of Wands, and guess who's behind the 2 of Wands? The Emperor. I have to come in. I asked for this. I chose this life. I chose this incarnation. I chose this person. This divine right. It is my divine, this love is my divine right. Ooh. Claim that in the comments. This love is my divine right. It is. You're not just worthy of this love. You're not just worthy of the sun. You're not just worthy of the sun. And being happy. Ace of Swords. It is your right. This is your sword that you have pulled from the stone. The stone being your very challenging life. Very heavy life you've led. And this is your light. This is the light for all of that. 10 of Pentacles. Yes. This is your karmic entitlement. And that might sound kind of, because I feel like you're not someone who ever takes, you probably don't take very much help at all. But if you do, you probably take the bare minimum. And in love, you've always accepted the bare minimum. In money, you've always accepted the bare minimum. If you have some sort of trade or something, you know, you may be an artist or whatever you produce, people around you are probably like, you need to be charging more. Why don't you charge anymore? And you're like, it's a self-worth issue. You've never felt like you were worthy of it. Not only are you worthy of it, you are entitled to it. That's why you were given this gift. That's why you were given this skill, the ability to, divine information. However you divine information, because you're very intuitive. So if you work with stocks, it's like, I was just watching Deliver Us from Evil. He's got the radar, which it's like does he have the radar because he's a cop? No, he's a cop because he has the radar. And he's in like a very treacherous environment, So it's like you might be like, 5 of Cups is, why, woe is me? Why does all this happen to me? It happened to you because, if you get a lot of, you're like, why do I always get these shitty people? It's like, because you have the power to see it. You have the power to identify it, to transmute it. Sometimes you take on the burden of other people, or you inherit the energy or the burden of other people because you were given the strength, the divine strength to handle it. And I get that seems like a curse, where it's like, well, I don't want to just handle things, but like maybe you probably just been like, I just want things to be easy. I'm just tired. I can't do this anymore. Don't want to do it alone. I'm tired of being alone. I see people around me together, but no offense, but look at their love situation. Comparison can rob you of happiness, but also comparison can put things into perspective. Like the whole children are starving in Africa. It's like, yes, children are starving right next door to you probably, but for some reason it's like things could be worse. Things could always be worse. And I feel like there's this sort of need to kind of compare, and I talk about this all the time, where it's like, you are living somebody's dream. And if it's not your dream, then you have the power to, ask the right questions and figure that out and take the steps to make sure that it is your dream. If it doesn't look like your dream, then make it look so. But sometimes there's just a need for gratitude and perspective. And I think that you have been robbed of a lot. Maybe you were literally robbed, right? But it's like you were robbed of opportunities. You were robbed of love. You were robbed of truth. And here you are, not just stronger for it. You were given the gift of strength, right? Because these other things could have happened to anybody else, but if they were not given that divine strength, if they didn't claim that on their incarnation, if they weren't like, that's what I ordered. Some people just, because they're newer souls, but you've been around a long time, honey. And you were like, all right, I'm ready for the 4-course meal. I'm ready for the biggest menu item. Because I'm ready for that. And then you get here and your terrestrial body's like, really? Really, celestial body? This is the shit you chose for us? And I've got to deal with it? So you could be in a lot of physical pain. You could deal with a lot of, seeming setbacks from your physical ailments. It's like, that is part of your calling. It was always part of your calling. It was always part of this love. Whatever it is going to line you up with this person. If you hadn't gone through addiction, you wouldn't be as passionate to help others. And that was what you always wanted to do. So you put yourself in an incarnation so that you would be raised in a chaotic karmic cycle that needed to be healed, right? Because we don't break the cycle, we heal it. And we heal it by bending it. You stretched it. You stretched the limits of your karmic. I was going to say entitlement and then debt at the same time. Leadbeater, in fact, says Leadbeater, which looks like Ledbetter, which is Pearl Jam. What is it? Is it Jeremy's a song? So maybe the name Jeremy. But then there's Wed Bed Letter. It's like bed wetter or something like that. But it's mixed up. And that's not just my dyslexia. Each word, in fact, says Leadbeater, each word as it is uttered makes a little form in etheric matter, just as a thought does in mental matter. I literally just said that when I was having coffee. Someone made a joke, don't be casting any spells. And I was like, we're all casting spells every time we speak. Everything we say is creating a reality. It's creating a thought, is creating, we think based on our beliefs, and our beliefs are also based on what we see. So it's like, this is the cycle of our own making, right? Because our thoughts become our words, become our actions, become our beliefs, become our thoughts, become our actions. So it just kind of cycles back. It's like we're creating this thing, and there's some sort of activation that you've experienced. Good people should be slow to speak but quick to act. So there's something about slowing the speak down. That's interesting. Something with the lava lamp. Also, lava is like the slow form of it's the event, or it's the effects of the event that is a volcanic eruption. There's a lot of fire eruption. There's some sort of like emotional overspilling. But it's going to be very slow. There's something about slow to speak. This is also with lava, it's like a slow burn. But based on our belief system, if something is going slower, it tells us, oh, I'm not worthy of it, it's not happening for me, and we're comparing ourselves in a way that is detrimental to our productivity and our progress, because we're going, oh, that person's faster than me, they're faster than me, they've got everything that they wanted or I wanted. But if it comes in fast, it doesn't last. If it comes in slow, it's good to go. I don't know. We're just rhyming things now. I am the hand of God in action. There's some action coming in. That 3 of Wands. Gaining victory every day. And that also is like sobriety. It's like one day at a time. It's somebody's really just kind of mustering the strength to take one step after the other. It also reminds me of the year without a Santa Claus. Santa Claus, Kris Kringle, the name Chris. But it was the year without a Santa Claus. Or wait, is that the one? The year without a Santa Claus. Yeah, that's the one that wasn't part of the standard Christmas collection of VHS movies or whatever for Christmas. It was the other one, but it still was like the claymation or it wasn't stop motion. I think it was claymation. Anyway, where he says, at first it's put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. So this is somebody that's coming out of a very heavy, dark time, like getting out of bed, one step in front of the other. This is a long, long journey. Emotionally speaking, there could be a physical journey involved too, because the physical represents the non-physical, because we have created it to be so. So moat it be. Yeah, somebody's like swimming across the moat. Alligators, crocodiles, time, being haunted by time, tick-tock, 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 to get across this moat. But they've got to swim the moat, or you can call to the gate and ask that it be lowered. And the fortress feels like the feminine. What do the people whose lives will intersect with my own today need from me? Yeah, and a lot of the time, we are blessed with the opportunity to be the change for somebody else, to be the mirror for somebody else, to be part of somebody else's lesson. So like, you may have gotten really slighted in a past connection. I mean, really, really treated badly and all of that. But you were an opportunity for somebody else to do the right thing, and they didn't, and that's their karma. And we don't wish anything upon them. We don't, we don't. So if you're feeling like you want to do that, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you say. I also watched Irrational Man, which is Joaquin Phoenix and Emma Stone. So there's the Stone again, and M-E-M, so Emma, Emily. And the red hair again. And Joaquin Phoenix is a Scorpio, I believe. I don't remember what she is. I feel like, I'm surprised I haven't looked her up and locked her in, but they all change anyway accordingly. So maybe something with Emma Stone's name or sign, or her name. Stone, rock, pebble. There could be any sort of synonym for those as well, because I am getting like names that go by a lot of different names, or there are a lot of like nicknames for this person possibly, or people they call her Emily or Emma, or she gets confused with other Emmas, like the one who plays Hermione. Watson? No. Emma Thompson. Emma Watson. So anyway, there could be like somebody getting confused. It's also 3 Emmas. But anyway, it's there's that switch of perspective of going, you know what? it's like you heard yourself say something at one point and go, oh, as you started to realize the power of spell casting and magic and creation and law of attraction and the importance of gratitude. Once you started to learn these things, you thought, wow, the way I'm speaking about my life, I need to, and again, maybe you're interested in vocal fasting. And when I said that, you're kind of like, and that I'm going to condone that forever as being like the greatest influence on all of my shadow work is practicing silence. I'm telling you, it's been revolutionary. So, and don't you know, revolution sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Somebody's very quiet. And we did have a reading not too long ago about something about like the whisper, the words coming in on a whisper. They're under the whisper. The whisper's under the words. Or something, like there's something about that. And I just really liked that, whatever that sense is, because it didn't feel like a insidious spell cast. It was like somebody maybe saying something under their breath, or when they don't know that somebody's listening, but it's like a truth that heals. From my storehouse of vitality, what can I give others? Yeah, this is a lot about the Six of Pentacles. It's about that selfless service. It's about giving to others. So maybe if you feel like you don't have enough, give to others. And you might be like, well, if I don't have enough, how can I give to others? There's something you can give to others. There's something that you can provide, and that will increase your financial wealth, well-being, and your stability. How can I give back to life the talents and gifts that life has given me? See, there's something, you have a secret power. And maybe it is your ability to just shut up, right? Because I also was watching somebody that I used to know. Yes, this does feel like it could be a reconciliation. But somebody that I used to know, she's like a, not gossip columnist or anything, but she does interviews, and she does this 10 seconds of silence or whatever. And the other person's like, isn't that manipulative? But no, it's very important. You know, when people start to cry, and this is a part of yoga, is Ashteya that stuck with me. It's non-stealing. So somebody was stolen from, somebody was taken from. I get that. And maybe you were your whole life, and now because of that, you had to go through that so that you understood what it's like to be on the other end of that. So when you speak to other people, you're not going to be someone who's taking from them. You know, when somebody starts to cry, our first reaction typically, because it becomes uncomfortable, is to either break the silence with a joke, or say something, hug them, or whatever. But it's like, we're not allowing them to just feel their emotions in their own experience. And so we're kind of taking from them the opportunity to work through whatever that is. And it seems like we're doing a good thing. You know, it's like, you know, I'm not saying that it's bad to open the door for somebody, but in a proverbial sense, when we open the door for somebody else and we hold that door for somebody else, they don't have to go through the work of reaching, grabbing, pulling, holding, stepping. They don't have to walk over the threshold. They're not doing all of that work. We're making it very easy for them. And maybe that's part of what you're going to be doing. You're going to be helping people walk through doorways in a literal or proverbial sense, but it's like you're going to be sort of doing that, and there's a way that you do it that doesn't take from other people. You actually help them, but you're not doing the work for them. But you're kind of like holding that space for them. Maybe you're holding the door, maybe you're holding, but it's like you're holding that space, and it's a silent space, and that allows other people to express something. But yeah, she would be silent for 10 seconds, and then they just start to pour out. And that is something that I do realize when I do my silence, because I've practiced it with family, friends, lovers. I've gone out in public, I've interacted with people. I've had my hair cut, I've gone out and I've just got my tattoo in silence. You know, it's like I've done a lot of things interacting with people in silence. And it's very interesting the perspective you have where people are immediately kind of jolted out of this space of like complacency. But it's not like some people need the jolt. You're kind of like the jolt, but you do it in a way that's very delicate. I don't know if that makes sense. This definitely feels more like, I mean, I read for the twin flames as being your life purpose as well. So, I mean, this is part of your life purpose, but this does feel like a big step in your career. And maybe you were like, oh, I can't make a career out of helping people. That wouldn't be right. Yes, you can. You know, or if you're doing like a nonprofit or something, you might feel guilty to have tax write-offs or something like that. But don't, because you were given this gift. That's why churches shouldn't have to pay taxes. You know, that's why they shouldn't have to pay taxes, because they are there as a service, a selfless service, supposed to be, for the community. So they're not responsible for certain things that others are responsible for. You know, the monks and the laymen. The laymen are the people who go to work, and they work, and then they provide, and the monks will come down through the streets and they'll have their offering plate, and people will give them food or trinkets or whatever. They'll give them things that they need to survive, and the monks hold that space for prayer and spiritual attunement for the others. That's the balance of the masculine and feminine. The masculine is the layman, so to speak. Not to say that they're like lame or anything. It's a layman anyway. It's not lame, but it does sound kind of like dumb or something. Like, put it in layman's terms. And that's also the Hierophant, because the Hierophant translates from the 5D into the 3D as a 4D being, right? 354, 345. That combination of numbers could be important as well. But the people provide for them, and that's kind of the masculine would provide for the feminine in the 3D, so the feminine can do the 5D work and hold that space for that spiritual side, for the unseen, for the moon craft, for the dream work, for all of that kind of magic that they are doing to bring that work that they're doing, because feminine energy is shadow working energy. It's all of that going within, introspective, evaluating emotions, and you use the evaluating and the analytical, logical aspects of the masculine energy to do that. So, I mean, you're using both, but it is doing all of that dream work and excavation of the self is a very feminine trait to go within like that, to go into the unseen. So there's something about you two coming together. I mean, it is your life purpose. And I feel like this was just a very long scenic route to say that. But hopefully there was some kind of specific confirmation for you. But this is like your divine entitlement. And I think that you've had something wrong, I don't want to say wrong, just not right for you in your process of how you approached affirmations possibly. It was more of like not in an insidious way, but it's like you were too humble. You weren't giving yourself enough credit. And once you start to give yourself credit is due, right? Once you say, I'm entitled to this thing, no, I want this back, or, you know, it's the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's like once you speak it out into existence, it's like, this is mine. I claim this love. I'm entitled to this love. It is my divine right. Then it's also claiming all the responsibilities and the duties and everything that come along with that, like the Six of Pentacles. You are gifted more, you know, and maybe you just receive constantly. You receive things all the time, and you're like, it's maybe not millions of dollars or whatever, but that's not your dream or your purpose anyway, to have all of that. But it's like you never really want for anything or need for anything. You probably want for a lot of things, because we can always find something to want. But it's like you never really need for anything. And and you just felt like, yeah, I'll just take my rations and that's it. No, you are entitled to abundance because you are gifted with the divine purpose of sharing that abundance. So it's like, yes, with great power comes great responsibility, all of that. So you're not just going to be gifted with all of this so you can use it for yourself, you know. That's not the life that you chose. Damn, this feels really heavy, but not bad. It's just like it feels very important, you know. I mean, these twin flame unions always are very important, especially to the individuals that are finally coming together. It's like, but there's something about your need or your perspective of receiving love that has been kind of delaying your divine purpose. And it's because you and your person are meant to come together as threes, not fours, right? You're meant to come together as the three kings, the three queens. You weave together, and that makes the six, that Six of Pentacles. Together you will always have enough. And maybe Swords is missing from this because you both are more about the action. And it's kind of like it's like a synchronistic signal that it's time. It's time. You know, it's like when you're with somebody, ooh, my right eye just started twitching because I was getting, that's weird. I don't wink because I don't really have the skill for that or whatever. I don't know. I can do it, but it always feels kind of false to me. I'm not a winker, okay? I'm just not a winker. I can't whistle and I'm not a winkler. But I was getting this kind of you and your person across the celestial party of people giving each other the wink or the signal, like it's time to go. Let's go home. And you're both going to be meeting, and when you meet, you are home. Oh, and when you meet, you are home. And so you and this person, like, let's go home. They're coming home. And from that home, you are going to be a house for all. And with the Christmas classics movies, there is the Island of Misfit Toys. You are going to take all the people, all the broken people, and that could be physical. You might be doing like healing physical work, somatic breath work, like whatever healing process you have applied to yourselves, you're going to integrate. And it's going to make you the Four of Wands. So you're going from the threes to the four by coming together, because you're going past the four, two on top of the four. You guys juggle everything really well. I think watching you guys is going to be incredible. You're going to be quite the vision, quite the show. Quite the show. But it's not like a circus performance or anything like that. It's going to be like a dance. It's going to be like watching two people who have been dancing for centuries, lifetimes. And that's how, and maybe there is a dance, a literal dance here, that you'll meet each other from across the room and they'll come over and ask you to dance, or you'll go over and ask them to dance. And it's like, you know who needs to lead in what area, what steps. You know each other's strong suits. You just know right away. It's time. I found you. The star as well, the tree star, so earth energy, and the star is fixed, right? It's a fixed air sign, so that is earth and air. Those signs could be, or those elements could be at play here as well, earth and air. Very grounding communication. It's very quiet communication. So you communicate in a way that's just very unique to you and your person, and it's very quiet. Feels like you don't say a lot, but people see you guys doing a lot and they're like, how did they do this? You know, like, because you just know. It's no time for talk. It's time for action. Trying to see, there's a flag here. Trying to see if there's a sign on there. But yeah, that Aquarius energy, the tree star, the name Sarah again. I found it. And she's a triceratops, so 3 again. I found it. She found the, what is it called? Oh, what's the name of the place where they're going in Land Before Time? It's like, I don't know, I can't watch that movie. It's too sad. It's too sad. Anyway, all right, well, we are past a point of no return. We're past the point of goodbyes. Yeah, you're not going to want to say goodbye. Goodbyes are going to be tough, or even like see you laters. Yeah. You don't want to even do that. 13 going on 30. Arrivederci. Au revoir. They have their own little razzle dazzle. Razzle red. And then the numbers 13 and 30. Threes are big at play here. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Because I feel like I'm just now getting into the channeling aspect. But a couple days away. And so it's just kind of interesting to get back into the collective of what's going on here. So yeah, all work and all play. It feels like it's going to be good, which is Capricorn energy. They work hard, but they play harder. Okay. I hope there was something in here for you, collective. And until next time, I wish you well.